Once your VPS has been set up and the Web Control Panel Lite version has been installed, you can navigate to your site's IP address, which you would have received in the VPS product welcome email. Initially, there will be a default website with a link to the Web Control Panel so that you can start setting up your server. You can also get to the Web Control Panel by going to your IP address :/10025. The initial email address is admin@admin.com and the password is admin. Once you're logged in, the very first thing you should do is update your user details. Click on the users link and then click on Edit User. Fill in your details. You'll notice that the username is read-only and cannot be changed. Once you're done filling in all your details, click on Edit User. You'll now notice that the logged in user has been updated. The next step will be to add the domain name you've ordered for this server. For instance, if you ordered the domain name test.com with your VPS, you need to still add that domain name to the VPS. To do that, go to Domains and click on Add New Domain. Enter the domain name test.com and then select the user it belongs to. At this stage, you're the only user. Then click on Add Domain. For your newly created website, there'll be a default page. Next, you can add email addresses to the domain by clicking on the emails link. Click on Add New Email and then give the email address a name, like John. Select the domain you want to add for and give it a password. And then click on Add Email Address. In the list now we have our single email address, john@test.com. You'll see that there's a webmail address that is at the domain /mail. The user can type that in directly for their own domains, or you can get there by clicking the link in this listing. Then enter your email address and your password. You can also click on the settings link in this listing. This will give you the settings you need for your email program, like Outlook or Thunderbird. You can edit the password of the email, or you can delete the email address. In order to load files to the web server, you need to create an FTP account. Click on the FTP link, and then click on Add New FTP User. Select the domain name you want to add the FTP account for, and give it a username, as well as a password. Then click on Add FTP User. Notice that the FTP username you selected is prepended by the domain name username. This prevents duplicate FTP login details for different clients. As with emails, you can edit the password or delete the FTP account. To create a database to use with the account, click on MySQL. Then click on Add New Database. As with the FTP accounts, the database name and username is prepended with your user account name. As with FTP, this prevents duplicate username or database names. If you are logged in as the administrator, as we are now, you'll have some additional functionality not available to regular users. That is, you have the ability to change which user you're creating a database for. We'll see that more clearly in a moment once we've created some users. To add new clients to your server, click on Users. Then click on Add New User. Give your user a first name and surname. The username field is read-only and cannot be entered. Once you've done, click on Add User. You'll notice that the username field is automatically filled in. We've now created a client called Mike. We now need to add a domain for Mike. Let's assume your client Mike has ordered the domain name mike.com with his hosting. You click on Domains and you say Add New Domain. Add in the domain name, mike.com, and then select the user Mike from the drop-down list and say Add Domain. Now we've created the domain name mike.com, and this belongs to user Mike. As the administrator, you can manage all of the services for user Mike. You could add a new email address for Mike. You could add FTP passwords for any of your users. And you can create MySQL databases for any of your users. As mentioned previously, you can select the user to create the database for. Initially, it selects the logged in user, but as the administrator, you can change that. You'll notice now that the database name and username belongs to the user Mike. Let's log out now and log in as the client. Your clients can have access to the control panel using the email address and password you used when you registered them. There are some differences though. For instance, in the domain name listing, they cannot add their own domains. This gives you control over the billing. They also cannot delete their domain names. They can add their own email addresses, but only for their own domains. As before, the user can click on the settings link next to any email address to see the settings to use for that email address in their email program, such as Outlook or Thunderbird. They can edit their own passwords or delete email accounts themselves. Your users can also create FTP accounts for themselves. Again, they can only select their own accounts to add FTP accounts to. And they can create their own databases. Unlike the administrator, they cannot create databases for other users, only for themselves. Similarly, users cannot delete their own accounts and cannot create new accounts. They can, however, edit their own details. Your user Mike now has an account which is ready to use. As soon as Mike loads his web files using the FTP account he created, his website will be live. To view a complete example of creating a user and then having that user log in and create a WordPress site, please go to http://za24.in/VPS/WP.